Hello everyone, welcome back to Cheat Codes, and today we're doing a quick tutorial on how you can scale up your map for a just top-down game, or well, pretty much any game as long as top-down. Obviously, if it's like a side scroller, I mean this could work, but not too well. It's just on how you can make, like, let's say you're playing a roguelike, you make the map expand as you're playing. Bigger camera, zooms out, things can increase. I have a very simple setup here of just 4 walls. So this is obviously how you're going to want to do it. Is you'll want a object, obviously, that holds all the like physical obstacles in your world that you want to scale up. So I just called it map. I reset it, and in here I just made everything I had. So you make your wall. Obviously my walls don't have actual sprites, like you can't see them, but you just make your wall, and if you take a map and scale it up, as you can see, it scales. So yeah, that's all I did. Um, it's just an empty object with empty, well, spriteless walls, which have colliders. They are in layers and stuff, but this tutorial isn't about all this. It is just about how you're going to scale these things. And then I just have a bunch of spawn locations, so 2 on each side, at top, and then right, and then yeah, it's just there's one there, there's 8. I have a very simple particle system right here. As you can see, it's literally just in its shape, it's a edge. The radius is 9, so it covers from my screen. It covers the area like so. And the emission, I haven't changed. I haven't touched any of this. I just put the order and layer -1, so it's behind everything. And in the particle, I just changed the color to something that matches the background, and I just changed the speeds and stuff. Yeah, so I'm making this tutorial because someone asked how to do this, and they have a particle system as well, so I just want to include that on how you can edit that. So yeah, very simple project. I just have a simple player that moves around. He has a pivot on him, like in my roguelike series, where he aims towards a mouse. I have a very simple enemy prefab that literally just faces the player and moves towards him. I have a very simple bullet that just flies in the direction and damages an enemy. I'll hit play real quick and show you. So I can tap fire and kill enemies. That's all this is. There's nothing else, nothing fancy. It's literally just like, as you can see, there's 6 scripts in the project. But yeah, very simple. I'll quickly show you how the enemy spawner works in case you're curious. You can ignore this part right here and the update. This is just I'll show you if I press spacebar, it just spawns a bunch of enemies. That's all that is, just so I can have like some way of spawning a bunch. So yeah, you can ignore this part, you can ignore this part. Literally all this is there's a coroutine that's looping infinitely, and wait for second spawn speed. So if the speed's 1, it's going to be every second. It just does a for loop and spawns a bunch of enemies and selects a random spawner. Very simple, nothing fancy. I'm going to close it. And then the player, as you can see, is literally as simple as it gets. He literally just has a vector 2 for movement, which just gets in WASD, and velocity equals movement. Very simple stuff. And if I press left click, it shoots, which just instantiates a bullet at the 5-point position in rotation. Very simple again. The enemy, very simple. He literally just faces the player and moves to the right, and he takes damage and dies if his health is less than 0, or, well, same as 0. Very simple. Bullet, exact same thing. On start, it gets its component and sets the velocity I just have set numbers here. They're not even, you can't even edit them in Unity. It destroys itself after 5 seconds if it doesn't hit anything, and then on trigger enter just destroys and deals damage to enemies. So very simple. Aim pivot again. This just points towards the mouse. Yeah, very simple. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. I literally just have like a basically empty project. So I have this map handler script. You can name yours whatever you want. You can put all this in your game manager or whatever you have that manages everything. But basically in my scripts I have a map handler which I've put on my game manager, and this is going to be in control of your game speeds, all that stuff. So instantly we're going to have a public float size. This is the size of your map. By default it should be like 1. Well, it should be 1 because everything's going to get multiplied by it, but obviously you just do that in the editor. You don't have to do it here. And we're going to need a bunch of things here. So you can choose, because there's a few ways to go about this. So if you want it, so if you change something in the editor, like your camera's starting size, like let's say, and right now it's on 5. I know it's on 5. I don't want to click back in because Unity's going to load. So the camera size is currently on 5. If you want to change it to 6 and you want to make sure it's always going to work, that's the method we're going to do now. But if you want less code and just have it super duper simple, literally just solid numbers, everything's base numbers, you don't have to do anything. You can do that. You can just brute force it. But yeah, let's get into it. And we're going to have a few things here. We're going to have a public. I'm just doing all this public. I'm just going to do stuff, so I drag them in the editor. You can obviously set up your stuff so it's not dragged in and it's automatic. But I'm just going to do it like this. So public game object. Well, actually, no, transform map. So that's obviously the map. And then public game object particle. So that's going to be the particle system. And then the camera will be private camera. Cool stuff. And yeah, that's that already done. I have to get into a few other things. We'll need a private float. This is where I'm talking about like the having things properly scale up if you change them in the editor. You can just brute force it and use values you already know. So we have base cam size. We have base particle size. Float. Again, this is all if you have the particle. So what we're going to change is the particle, the radius size. So how big it on the screen, like left to right, and then the particle lifetime, because obviously the particles need to live longer if they have a bigger distance to cover. So we need a reference to those two. So we'll have a private float base particle lifetime. Cool. And then we're going to need a private particle system dot shape module. Part shape. This is the thing that has the radius and stuff. This is how particle systems work. If you want to do something like make things speed up based on something else, then you use particle system dot emission, and then you just use it from there. It's not just straightforward stuff. So on start, we have a bunch of stuff to do here. Camera simple. Camera equals camera dot main. So if you only have one camera in your scene, do this. If you don't have one camera in your scene, don't do this. It just takes the main camera, and yeah, main camera. We only have one camera, so base cam size equals camera dot orthographic size. That's just the size. It doesn't say in the Unity editor orthographic size. It just says size, but that's what that is. It's just size. And then we have the base particle. Base particle size equals particle dot get component particle system dot shape dot radius. So, oh, sorry, that's minus. Well, I should change this to radius actually, not size. Sorry. Radius. So it's just the area, how big it is. So radius, cool. And now we'll need a the lifetime. So base particle lifetime equals, this is the same thing. Very cool. Dot start lifetime, like so. Cool. And now for the amazing thing, the part shape, which will be part shape equals particle dot get component particle system dot shape. So that is the shape. I'll just show you just to make sure you guys understand how it's being referenced. So in here we have the shape. See, that's the shape. That's what we're referencing. The shape's in there. The radius is in there. We're referencing this thing right here, the shape. That's how it works. And now we get into the fun stuff. So in update, well, this is about how you're going to scale this. So do you want your game to scale up constantly every second till a set size? Here you can have a public float size and then a public float max size. So let's just do it like that. We're going to make the game scale up till it reaches a size, because obviously you don't want it to scale infinitely, because, well, then it's going to zoom out till you can also leave the camera, lock it onto your player, and then have a game where you actually move around, but that's completely different. If you want, you can go to, I think, episode 1 or 2 from my roguelike series, and that actually has that same setup. So let's quickly do this. So camera dot orthographic size equals basecam size times size. We're going to times everything of size. So we're taking the camera size and timesing it by its base size times size. And then we're taking the particle, part radius, base particle radius. Particle. Let's actually set this particle system as well. Private particle system part sys. Let's just say that. We'll do it right here. Part sys equals particle system. Particle dot get component particle system. Sorry, I should have done this from the start. So now we can actually just replace all this like so. A lot cleaner code into there, so we have a nice just have it nice and sorted out. There we go. It's a little easier to read. Nice. So what we're gonna do is part sys dot radius. No, oh wait, that's not it. The part shape dot radius equals base radius times size. So that's the area, and then we need the part sys dot a lifetime. So start lifetime. Cool. Equals base lifetime times size. Sick. And then we take the map size. So map dot local scale equals vect3 dot 1 times size. Didn't mean to do that. Oopsie. 1 times size. Very cool. There we go. That works. I'll quickly show you. So yeah, I hope it's not too hard to understand. I know all of this makes it look a little complicated stuff. It's just so it scales properly. So if I in the editor change the camera's base size to a bigger size, then everything will scale properly. So let's drag things in here. We've got the map. There we go. And we got the particle. There we go. Very nice. Size should be 1 by default. And I set a max size just 2. So if I hit play here, you can see everything works. Enemies come, blah, blah, blah. If I drag the size up, and you look here, you can see enemies are still spawning out the screen in the right spots. The particle system is now covering the whole screen. The walls are right. I still can't move out of the map. So yeah, everything works. There we go. We already have scaling done. So you can either just choose to, from here, work out yourself how you want things to scale. So is it maybe at the end of each wave, increase size by 0.1, every frame, increase the size. So I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to do every frame. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this, put in an if statement. If size does not equal max size. Cool. Well, actually, no. If size is less than max size, then change. We don't want it to constantly update. So, because, FPS, we got to save frames where we can. And then in here, we're going to do another one, exact same. If size is less than max size, cool stuff. Then size plus equals time dot delta time divided by 0.1. So a very slow, I think this is probably too slow, very slow scaling. Let's see it in play, shall we? Booga booga. No worky. Oh. Oh no, it's super fast. Never mind. Oops. Well, as you can see, it works. It just scales way too fast. 0.01. Make it very. I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, wait 1 second. Oh, I'm such an idiot. No, I realize what I did. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Listen, I don't do division a lot anymore. No, so divided by 10, obviously. Okay, so as you can see, it's working. We're scaling up slowly. The map's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously, if you have a nice background and stuff, it'll scale properly and you can see it change nicely. But yeah, as you can see, we're very zoomed out and it worked. So it reached 2 size and nice. So obviously that's a little fast. 100. But yeah, there you guys go. Super simple. And if I maximize, we can see play and over time, very over time. It'll take a long time. I might have no, I slowed it down a little bit too much. Put it on 20. And yeah, that's what we did today. I hope it helped. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as you can see, we have a nice game that slowly zooms out and the map scales properly. So I can't walk out of the borders. It's zooming out, still can't walk out. Enemies are coming. It reaches its max zoom, well, the max map size. And as you can see, enemies are not getting smaller and smaller, and the camera's not zooming out more. And yeah, very cool. Very simple system of increasing your map size. Sorry for the long, it's not meant to be such a long video, but I wanted to explain everything properly. So yeah, very cool, very simple, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.